Victoria Azarenka admitted she was unimpressed by the furore over Serena Williams' lack of seeding at the French Open and insists that conversations are taking place to find a rule to suit everybody. The former world No. 1 and 2-time Grand Slam champion suffered an early 5-7, 5-7 exits at Roland Garros at the hands of Katerina Siniakova and was quizzed over Williams' situation in the aftermath of defeat. Williams, a 23-time Grand Slam winner, was not handed a seeding for the tournament, although she was given a spot in the main draw despite her ranking of 451. Many argue that Williams should have been seeded for the event and shouldn't be punished for spending time away from tennis to give birth, but Azarenka questioned why this conversation had only arisen now, despite making her own return from pregnancy at Wimbledon last year. And she was adamant the focus should be on the rule as a whole and what's fair for everyone, not just for Serena. "Well, we are talking about one individual being seeded," she said after her first round loss. "So if we talk about the rule, then the rule should be for everybody." "This conversation was not on the table last year when I was coming back and I was not seeded in Wimbledon. And Wimbledon has the choice to do that. And this year they are going to be seeding Serena. So if we talk in terms of rule, the rule has to be for everybody. In terms of maternity leave, there is conversation that have started already a while ago on the WTA Tour, and the maternity question we're going to expand because right now I'm part of the player council, in terms of this conversation. So I think that media needs to relax a little bit in terms that nobody is doing anything, because that's really not true. And I think this chaos that's been created is not that Serena is upset that she's not seeded. It's more outside noise and making a big story out of that. But there are conversations about rules, and we are talking about at least first separating the injury and pregnancy, and I think that's real important. Cannot go under the same rule, making a longer maternity leave for players to be comfortable coming back. So there are a lot of talks on this topic, and it might take some time. It's not going to take a magic, decision. But as I said, if there is going to be a rule, it's going to be for everybody. When asked for her own thoughts on the discussion, Azarenka admitted she's on the fence and saw all sides of the debate. "The whole issue, I think, is important," she added. "I'm not talking only about seeding. But you have to be objective, and people have to be objective if we are seeding a player who came back from maternity leave or not. Do I think it's fair? I think there are parts of it. But we have to look from the other side for players who are not going to be seeded who also played and worked hard to be in that position. There is a lot of elements. It's very easy to say, oh, they are not seeded, it's terrible, bad rules. But there are a lot of things that are going into this rule and into the thought process. So, I would like to just for the record, say that please give us time and we will, as a women association, we will make sure that we have the best for women players and for our sport. Honestly, I'm going back and forth. I'm going back and forth still. There are different ways to look at it. There is really different. It's not easy if you want to look objective. If you want to look personal and be personal, it's very easy. But if you want to be objective towards everybody, it's not easy.